My name is Danielle Desrochers, and I've been beading for about 10 years now, if I remember correctly. I started beading when I worked as an interpreter at Riel National Historic Site. And I learned there initially from our older sister, Julie, and then eventually took another workshop with Janine Crouchy and learned another method with her. And she's really been a big mentor of mine, at least, over the last 10 years since I've been beading.
And my name is Gabrielle Desrochers. I have been beading since 2017, so I guess that's 8 years. And also when I was an interpreter at the Riel National Historic Site. And just like Danielle, our older sister Julie is who taught me how to do beadwork. Our whole family, we are all Métis citizens with the MMF. We're all harvesters with the MMF as well. We have our harvesting cards. And I would say like our relationship with the MMF is probably in a lot of ways through beadwork, but also like we were interpreters with LRI, so we had that relationship there.
One of our big fans is Minister Will Goodon, so we've made a few things for him, including a beaded jacket, like suit jacket, a beaded jean jacket, and I'm working on something right now for him, for his son actually, a beaded vest.
But also the really cool project that we worked on was when the MMF and President Chartrand went to visit the Vatican, we were asked to commission a beaded cross for the Pope. And so we, and I believe there were a few other artisans who worked on their own pieces, but it was a big family project. Danielle was in Italy. She designed all of the beadwork for us while she was studying abroad. And then myself, Julie, and Roxanne, we all worked on creating the beadwork. Meanwhile, our dad was creating a frame for that to be like a 3D piece, and our mom really helped us like put everything together and sew things together and everything for it to come to life. So that was a really, really cool project that we worked on. For me, beadwork is really a way for me to like connect to my culture. Growing up, I think we were really raised like as Franco-Manitobans. We didn't really know what our Métis roots were or what that meant. And it was, for me anyways, I remember being in like grade 7, grade 8 and realizing what being a Métis person is and like what that means to us. I remember doing embroidery as a kid, and so tying in how like the flower beadwork people and like how that comes from the Europeans and how that progressed into our culture is really, really cool. So I really like to kind of think back to our ancestors and how they did this work, and it's just really important to understand our culture in terms of our wear is a really big piece of what our culture is. So for me to be able to create that for myself and for others and to gift and share that is really, really fun.
Yeah, I think like a lot of Métis people, it's an easy, accessible way to connect to what our ancestors did. And when we worked at Riel House, I remember thinking sometimes like on the rainy days when I was beading there at the table, how all the Riel women who would have beaded at that table in the past, but by candlelight or something, and just kind of picturing myself in their shoes. And it was just really, I don't know, humbling to be able to do kind of something that they did the exact same thing and really connect to them in that way.
Danielle's been doing workshops for longer than me, and Julie even longer than her. So for probably the last, like I would say the better portion of 13, 14 years in some capacity, we've been facilitating beadwork workshops in the community, whether that be through the St. Boniface Museum or the MMF programming, at Riel House with little ones and school groups.
And the really nice thing about the workshops is that we don't only get Métis people or Indigenous people, but we get people from all backgrounds, whether those are newcomers or immigrants or Franco-Manitobans, Métis, and everyone's interested in learning about where it comes from and why it's important. And then when you do get the Métis person who's trying to reconnect to their roots, that's when it's really rewarding to see them learn that just like we did.